Good evening. Welcome to The Sacred Journey. The Sacred Journey is the program that reminds you that life is a wonderful adventure and each and every experience we have is a unique and perfect opportunity for learning. I'm Joyce St. Germaine, and tonight's program, Tibetan Singing Bowls, will be part 1, and next week I hope you'll join us for part 2. You may have thought I missed my cue to start, but I was savoring the wonderful sound vibration here in the studio, and I'm so pleased to have Brian and Marcy Hickey. They are certified sound energy healers, and it is a thrill to finally have worked out our schedules to have them in their amazing, amazing sacred bowls, tools, objects, toys. I'm not even sure what to call them, but welcome Brian and Marcy. How can you even describe these? I like to say toys because they're so joyful to listen to, but they're sacred sound tools.
Sacred singing bowls, 7 precious metals, line up with the 7 stars of the solar system and the 7 main chakras of the body, from the head chakra to the binal sign. Down low. Sorry.
The base of the spine.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
our
much.
viewers know a lot about chakras because we've covered all kinds of topics in the years that we've been together. I have never seen this many bowls together, so I've never heard this many bowls together. I have 2 myself, but you were just laying them out and my heart was just going, oh, so wonderful. I can hardly wait. Now, you have different backgrounds than just this.
For sure. First of all, I'm a therapeutic recreation director at a nursing facility, and we do integrated medicine with the Tibetan bowls, but we also do laughter yoga from Dr. Jody Peister from New York, and we also do Tai Chi and Qigong, which is wonderful also to have your Qi energy flow through you.
Yeah, and Marcy, your background is in dance and movement.
Dance, exercise, yeah, that's what I did after I had my children, and I actually loved it. And then I also assist Brian in therapeutic recreation. I've been doing that since 2000.
And it's amazing that besides doing Qigong, or Qigong, I guess, there's a few different pronunciations, you are using the bowls to work with elderly, to work with autistic children and adults, and you have personal stories of
Sure.
healing.
So we bring our bowls to our nursing home, do concerts. I've also been healed by the bowls. At one time, I fell in the backyard on a hill with ice, ruined my back. Work at the facility, went to work that day. My wife had gone to work in the morning. I had to drive to Suffield from Granby with no shoes and socks on
Because
I couldn't bend down to put them on because my back was out.
we didn't want people to
Nah.
think it was because you couldn't find them because your wife wasn't
Well,
home.
there
to
you
And
go.
locate them
I went
for
to
you.
work not knowing.
And for those who never had a bad back's a bad back. So I get rubbed by the physical therapist for half an hour. I push wheelchairs for a living to activities, and I can't do this every day. The next day, Marcy waited to put me my shoes and socks on. And then I finally said, I'll call the person that did a demonstration with a bowl at my facility once and see if she can help me out. So on Sunday, this happened on a Tuesday, she made arrangements to come to my kitchen, put a training table down in my kitchen, took 10 bowls, 3 on stands by my head, 1 on a stand by my feet, 3 on my back, holding one, played the bowls around my body for an hour, used the tingshaws that look like cymbals. Marcy had a pair on one side, she had a pair on another side. In 1 hour and 10 minutes, I got off the training table that I had to get helped onto, bent down, touched my toes, did a jumping jack, did the twist, and have never had a bad back again.
That's pretty amazing. But yet not hard to believe because I understand the power of vibration and sound.
Yep. So and other times, we've brought the bowls across the country, brought it to an autistic class in California with 8 special ed children, and we named the bowl after our friend Junior, a 7-year-old, that actually just picked up our mallet and played the bowl right in front of us.
And that's not an automatic, easy gift that everyone can play the bowl,
Not at
or
all.
sing the bowl, because you get chatter, you get sounds that aren't as pleasant and pleasing. Marcy, you were telling me earlier this great story about being in an airport or on a plane. You want to share that?
Oh,
Such
yes.
a cool
So
story.
what happened was we were stuck up in the air, and they said we're like 32, and we were waiting in line. So
To
we're
land?
circling to land. And Brian being who he is, he took out...
Shy individual that he is.
And he took his bowl out, and I'm like, don't do it, don't. He's up there, and he just walks up and down the aisles, and he's saying the bowl. And they sat down, and no one really responded until we were waiting. We were waiting for a piece of luggage that was too big. And so everyone was walking by there, and 3 or 4 people came up to Brian and said, thank you so much. That really helped, because I had a lot of anxiety. So the bowls really help on a lot of different levels, body, mind, and spirit. But the first thing they do is, one time I used to do a lot in nursing homes, and it was a lot of work for me. It was a lot of energy. And I was sort of irritated as I was picking up these heavy things, and I hit one of the bowls. And first I said, why am I doing this? And I was really agitated. And then I hit the bowl, and then it went, oh yeah, now I know why.
Wow,
So,
beautiful.
the people that do these things are the people that need it the most. And you'll say, like, people that teach organization are the most disorganized people in the world. People that are healers need healing, So we talk about that a lot.
And I think it's nice to have a personal success story.
Oh,
because
yeah.
then when you inspire other people, you can say, I know exactly what this is about because I experienced this. And that's a really cool thing. Now, you guys do a lot of things in this area, but you've also taught out of the country and around the country, but locally in Connecticut. What kind of things do you do? What can
Well, we do
people look
gong
forward to?
baths. We do gong baths, which is something you're going to see tonight with all the bowls. And we play a concert for an hour, and people get a detox and a cleanse and a healing without even realizing it. And they lay on mats with pillows and blankets. And we do individual healings at our home on the same thing that I received on a training table with bowls on stands, and do that sort of thing.
But we're at the First Congregational Church once a month, on the first Friday of every month.
And
So
it's a concert or a workshop?
it's a concert,
Okay.
just like this. It's a concert, yeah. So people come and they just lie down and relax, and they don't have to do anything. And a lot of people, they don't want to have to do anything. They just want to relax. It's the end of the week. They de-stress,
feel,
they
yeah.
rejuvenate, and they love it. And there's so many stories about...
So you do workshops, you do concerts, and you do individual healing
Exactly,
work.
yes.
Well, we'll make sure that our viewers know how to contact you. Your information will be shared at the end of the show. Now, I keep saying Tibetan singing bowls, but I know earlier we said that sometimes you can say Himalayan because they come from different regions, different areas. Could you elaborate on that a little
Yeah, like Tibet, Bhutan, or Nepal, but they're taken, the materials are taken from the Himalayas. So they're the 7 metals, they call it 7 metals. They even have CDs named the 7 metals, but they're gold, silver, mercury, tin,
Copper,
lead, and then
zinc,
iron. And the iron is what really helps that spinning energy. You go to Sedona and there's a lot of iron in those red rocks. Well, that really helps move the energy, the iron. And also the iron deposits are from meteors. So the Tibetan monks really, really hold that in great importance.
And work with that. Brian,
Yeah.
do you have a personal favorite?
Well, my personal favorite is the first one I ever got, and this is my singing bowl. And this guy just plays no matter what.
This is a very intense bowl.
For a little bowl, that's an
For a small-
It's amazing.
sound.
Amazing.
And it's machine made, but it's pretty amazing. And it has a lot of wonderful designs painted on it, or etched in it, actually. But we don't really clean these bowls, because then that would take the patina off them. But they could be used water and wiped out. You won't really want to use anything on them to clean them. So if you do get one, if anybody gets one or buys one, they shouldn't really polish it up too much.
Right, I had heard that, and I have 2. I have a smaller one and a larger one. The larger one I had fallen in love with, but it didn't want to sing for me. So I thought, okay, not my bowl. 10 years later, one of my early teachers, Richard Rudis, had the same bowl, and I had brought my little one from him for backpacking, And he had the same bowl, and there I looked at it and went, oh, and I thought, well, maybe now. And it sang for me, so I had to get it. But I sometimes will put water in it and sing it and use the water for compresses for me or my dog, or have him, if he's ill or has a wound or an injury.
Terrific. You'll notice that none of them are alike. Some are darker, some are more tan. They weigh differently. The biggest bowl we have is our lowest tone. The smallest bowl we have is the third eye. It's our highest pitch tone.
Is that
This is the
highest
smallest one we have.
And that looks different also by color. So when you buy a bowl, do you just see how it feels?
Well,
Yes.
the first thing, you shouldn't buy a bowl if you can't sing it.
Okay.
So if we pick a bowl up, and we picked a lot of bowls up before we got our collection and everything else. And when I started in this, we had one bowl. If you thought I was going to own 20 bowls, 30 bowls, I thought you were crazy. But every place we went, every place we bought, we would try to sing a bowl, and that was for us. So we just added it to our collection.
Now, how did the gong come into this family?
I brought it home.
Okay, you adopted it.
Yeah, I actually got him. He had a music store, and we had a smaller Wuhan gong that was really cool, and people love that too. But I'm always wanting to add more to our wonderful healing, and so this one was used, and it had this wonderful smiley face on it. And I got to tell you, I sometimes have intentions when I'm doing a healing for a group of people, and I wanted people to help. I was working in the heart, and wanted them to open their hearts. And so when I would hit it, I would picture the body, and you can do this when you're doing your healing, of course, so you're sending it out. And I was pointing towards the heart, and I just send out and just said, whoever needs to open their heart, just open the heart, right? I had 2 young women come up to me after our gong bath and say, I felt like, wow, my heart was opening. I had not said a word. I mean, and that was pretty amazing. And another one said the same thing, that she had felt this issue here, this opening up. 2 different ways that they explained it, but that was pretty cool. And a lot of this stuff in the beginning for me, I had to be proven. So I was a skeptic. And when Brian brought the bowls in the beginning to the nursing home, he would come home and he goes, oh, so-and-so had loved it. She could feel all the energy. She actually could move her fingers. I have worked with people in nursing homes, and for 10 or 15 minutes, the blood is moving into that area, and you could actually see all of a sudden the blood pumping in the veins and hands that were stroke hands. And so one woman, I actually bought her a bowl and brought it to her. She gave me the money, I went out and got it for her, and she actually would have somebody help her work on it. So because she was, with strokes, you have to get in your hands, you have to get the fingers open. So it really helped move this energy in your body.
Now, you called it acupuncture without needles.
Without needles, for sure.
That's
And
great.
the best thing is our teacher once told us, the bowls act as though you had a tangle in your hair and you use a comb or a brush to get the tangle out.
Knots, yeah.
And the bowls take care of that. And when I do a gong bath in my nursing facility, for instance, we put all the agitated people close to the table. And after I hit about 3 or 4 bowls, the agitation goes away and it's kamate. And I contend that every nursing station and every hospital and medical building should have a Tibetan bowl, and every teacher should have a Tibetan bowl on their desk.
Yeah.
And just when everybody's not paying attention,
In the center. I would agree with you.
and the next thing you know, they're listening and they're attentive.
When we had class, we had a woman who was a nurse, and she was on disability because she had such bad asthma. And so she bought the bowl for herself, and it actually opens up your bronchial airways. So it actually helps to breathe deeper. So you'll notice when you do hear it, all of a sudden you'll go, you just want to breathe. It's wonderful.
Well, we have been talking, and I'm sure our viewers are going, when do we get to hear and feel this? So we have 10 minutes left, so I am going to say goodnight. Don't shut that television off yet. Thank you for joining us on the Sacred Journey. We'll see you next week, but now Brian and Marcy are going to gift us with a beautiful concert with the Tibetan singing bowls, and the gong. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see
Thank
you
you,
again
Joyce.
next week with Brian and Marcy.
you.